People are having so much fun with AI videos on Twitter X. And one of the things that there are a bunch of now is these women Olympics. And this is like an example. It is a grocery cart race to see which woman can get her grocery cart put away the fastest. Oh my gosh, you guys. So funny. I'm going to show you some more. But the reason I'm showing that to you is because men are finally, they're coming out and they're like, I don't care if you call me a misogynist. I don't care. You can call me a misogynist. I want a woman who wants to do these things and will be an actual helpful wife to me. You guys are finally saying it because you just don't care anymore. You don't care what you get called, and it's amazing. And one of those men who will say it as boldly and as plainly, and I'm not talking about Andrew Tate, I'm not even talking about Andrew Wilson, I'm talking about the very controversial Nick Fuentes. So I'm going to show you guys what he thinks about women. And I'm not saying, YouTube, that I agree with it. We're just going to see what he thinks about it and have a bit of a discussion, you know, for educational purposes. Welcome back to Far From Eden. Okay, one more, because I just can't help myself. I find these so funny. Part of the reason I find it so funny is because I know how mad it's going to make a lot of women. That's part of it. But also, this is the humor that we need today.
And she's off door open, beer in hand, clean grab, caps off mid-stride, that's textbook, to the recliner, pass made, first sip, stop the clock, 5.12 seconds. Germany, quick and surgical, Mexico with the rhythm, France swirling smooth, look at USA flying, USA scrubbing to glory, that shines gold. Oh, Germany's brush snaps, goo all over her, the crowd goes wild, and the US basin is crystal ball.
And they're off. The Danish athlete quick out of the gate, a smooth S pattern with the canister. Jamaica right on her hip. USA accelerating on the far lane.
And they're off in the women's vacuum final. Beautiful straight lines already. Crowds closing in. Lou trying to keep pace, but
olha a velocidade da Ana Luísa no chão. Movimentos circulares, espuma perfeita. Cronômetro na casa dos 23 segundos.
Oh my God, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Should we implement that? I say bring on the housewife games. I think it's awesome. Anyway, I would watch that. Would you guys watch this? Is this some female sports that you would watch? Right? YouTube, this is all for comedy. Okay, let's get serious now. Let's see what Nick Fuentes has to say about women. By the way, hit like on this video, hype it up. YouTube does not like this man. YouTube has banned him. And recently he tried to reinstate a channel and they were like, nope, because of this type of view. Now he has other very controversial views and I am definitely not going to cover those. Maybe on the local channel, but not here. Here, we're just going to observe and hear his take on women, because you will not hear somebody come out this strongly with these opinions really anywhere else, because they probably don't want to get banned. Okay, here we go.
The problem in the West is that women are out of control. They're out of control. If you believe in the natural order, if you believe in the Christian moral order, if you believe in the Christian creation story, the book of Genesis, then properly understood, the role of women in our society is secondary. It is not primary. There is nothing in the Bible that would give you any idea that in a social context, women should have equality with men. There's nothing in the Bible that says this. And people like to say, neither male nor female, neither Jew nor Gentile.
And the thing is, you don't hear any of this in church. So those trad cons, they're neither traditional or conservative, because this is tradcon. Take it or leave it, like it or love it. This is actually traditional, old school, and that's what conservative means, conserve the old school. So like I said, take it or leave it. And I think y'all know where I stand on it. So let's continue to watch Nick Fuentes in this educational setting.
Spiritually, maybe you have a point. But from a social point of view, there is nothing in the Bible that would tell you that men and women are the same, that they're equal, that they should have equal standing in society. And yet, I don't care who it is. I don't care how based they are, if they're trad or Christian or whatever, almost everybody today is defending the position that women should have political, social, legal equality. Almost everybody is effectively a feminist. Everybody on the left and almost everybody on the right is effectively a feminist. And when I put it simply like this and say, look, I don't want to hear women talking back to men. I don't want to hear women in public giving men shit, talking back, raising their voice. Women should not have the freedom to wear whatever they want, say whatever they want, go wherever. It should not be like this. And by the way, this fertility crisis that we're having, it has almost everything to do with the role of women, that they're educated, that there was this emancipation, liberation of women. And you say things like this, you say, look, we love women and we respect them and we think they should have dignity. I'm not in favor of cruelty towards women or anything like that. But I think that women need to act.
And that's the thing. Everything he said up until this point, women will hear it and think that that's cruelty. Other women will hear it and think, oh, that's treating me with protection. But that all depends on if you are red-pilled or if you're living in blue pill land.
A certain way. They need to act like women. And men need to act like men. And that means that men are going to be the boss. And being the boss comes with a lot of perks. It comes with responsibilities too, but it also comes with perks. And that means that women are going to be at home raising the kids.
It should come with perks. When you have to be in charge and you have to take all that responsibility and the buck stops with you, it should come with perks. And he just said, you have to be at home raising kids. That used to be looked on as a blessing. That actually today, more women are realizing, yeah, I'd rather be at home with my own children. Who the heck designed this thing where I am having to work outside the home and missing my children all the time? Because I think eventually you go back to like factory reset. That's what I think. I think you come back to the right way. I think truth will inevitably rise to the top. And if you've noticed, nowadays there's a lot more of that. And there you cannot separate the political from the gender crisis, the gender roles crisis. It is political because it's all about how we deal with one another. And it all comes from, I think, where he is saying it comes from. And you have to go, well, okay, this is what changed politically, and this is what changed in relationships, dating, all that stuff. Isn't it weird that it all went to crap simultaneously? Correlation? Causation? The powers that be would say, oh, no, nothing to see here. Don't think about that. Don't ask questions about that. And certainly don't listen to this man. He needs to be banned from all the platforms. But weirdly, he's popping back up again. People are listening to him. Why do you guys think that is?
That means that your wife isn't your best little buddy. She's not your best pal. I mean, she can be. But her primary role is to be your wife, a helper, mother your kids. And that means, no, she can't just go and do whatever she wants, talk to her guy friends, have a work husband. She can't be out wearing whatever she wants, saying whatever she wants, raising her voice. So the things that I see women say to their boyfriends or husbands, the way they raise their voice, the way they talk,
it's bad.
So inappropriate.
It's bad.
And you start to say that, you start to push the envelope a little bit on this, and then you start to see the inner feminist come out in everybody. Then you start to see even the so-called trad guys, right-wing guys, Christians, Republicans start to say, whoa. No, actually, our wives are our shield maidens. It's actually very pro-white. That, we respect a woman's opinion, and we're going to listen to her, and she's going to be in politics too. Our women are going to be on Twitter. Our girlfriends and wives are going to be on Twitter with filthy language and racial slurs. They're going to be giving us their political opinions. They're going to be running political organizations. I
get it. I get the irony. Here I am on YouTube sharing my political opinions, etc. I really shouldn't be doing this unless I'm doing it under the cover of a man. I get that. I do. I get it. And I've made, reasons like, oh, well, it's necessary and we're in a time where women do need to push back. I don't know. You guys can tell me in the chat what you think about that, because it's tricky. I sometimes think that no one listens to men. I mean, look, they deplatformed him. I don't know that they would if a woman was saying the same thing. I'm not sure. I think it's very interesting to have this discussion, and that's a big reason why I'm making this video.
Right, it's trad. As long as she's traditional, she's going to have basically an equal footing and so on. And that's when you realize what Andrew Tate is pushing really is revolutionary, because it is a full repudiation of feminism. It's not this crypto feminism that these other people push where, it's like I said, there's like this slippery slope where they start to say, well, the problem isn't the role of women. The problem isn't women in general and their nature. They say the problem is modern women. They say the problem is left-wing women. The problem is degenerate women and so on. But if your woman is trad, and if she has the right politics, and if she says fashy things sometimes, then we get to simp for our women. Then we should feel actually virtuous for simping for them. We should.
Exactly. And you have to be so careful. And Pearl pushes against this too. She is all over the tradcons. If one tradcon steps even more out of line, man, she is on it. And I understand. And I always go back to that debates Andrew Wilson has had with Emily Saves the Day was one of them on Piers Morgan, and Tommy Lauren on Piers Morgan. And somehow he's found a way to stay platformed, but still make similar arguments and ask questions like, well, what are your duties and responsibilities? And according to Tommy Lauren, well, we just don't have them, but you guys do, because you're born with it. She literally made that argument. You're born with the DNA and the instincts and biology to provide and protect, and we are born to, I guess, receive that. Because she had nothing when he asked her about, well, what do you have to do? It was like crickets. And you would think with all the discussions and all the podcasts and all the interviews and everything that she's done, that she would have at least crafted some type of response to that, but she didn't.
Feel virtuous. Never telling them no, never putting our foot down, giving them all the attention, getting caught up in their lives and in the chase and drama and so on.
Nope.
Whereas someone like Andrew Tate says, no, we have to repudiate all of it. We have to repudiate all of feminism altogether. That's the dangerous message. That's ultimately why they're pushing back on him. Because the second that a guy is looking at women and just sort of rolling their eyes, the second that a guy looks at women and just kind of says, you know what, shut up, it's over. It's over for them. We all know why. They can't physically push us around. They can't mentally push us around. The second that men start to wake up and say, hey, wait a second, we're men. We run society. Wait a second, we're men. We run this household.
Yeah.
Wait a second. We're in charge here. The second men do that, I mean, it's over for the whole thing. I think that's a big part of why this guy is being persecuted. I think it's because he talks about the Israel issue more than almost anybody in the right wing. I mean, now that's really no longer the case. There's a handful of people that are pushing it too. But he was very early to that.
And I'm just going to pause right there because, you know, I don't want this video to get buried because that's not a topic that YouTube is a big fan of. And he's already finished the whole spiel. And I mean, that was a response, obviously, to Andrew Tate and what he thinks. But more than that, it's a commentary on society and roles. And people have said, they've spread rumors that Nick Fuentes prefers men and everything. He's not married, etc. And I'm like, don't you understand? Like, does anybody hear what he's saying? How? When you have that point of view and you want to be serious with a relationship and have children and everything, a lot of women are not going to do that. They're just not, because they're not in alignment with what he is saying our roles are. So I don't think people should be confused why Nick Fuentes is single. And I'm definitely not saying he should be. I don't think so. I don't think he should be. But where is there a woman the way, like, that is how he's describing it? Where? It's like Rachel Wilson said, if I knew where they were, if I knew where the wives were, I'd be the richest woman in the world. But like, we don't know where they are either, because they're the trad cons that are just sort of pretending that they're not feminists. But as he said, at the core, they really are. And you know what? Fine. Have the freedom to be that. But we need to ask ourselves, how's that working out? Because we're not happier than we've ever been, are we? No. So let's learn more about his viewpoints because they get juicier. Okay. Here we go.
Men have to put their foot down and say, I will not be taught by a woman. I will not be instructed by a woman. If you want to be trad, you want to be Catholic, you want to have Catholic sexual and social morality, then we got to tell women, hey, shut up. Shut up, shrew. Enough. It's time for that. You want to be trad? How about patriarchy? No more gynocentrism. How about patriarchy? Men need to say, shut up and go to your room. I'm the man of the house. I will not be taught what it is to be a man by a woman. I don't want to hear from a woman about politics. I don't want to hear from a woman about morality. I don't want to hear from a woman about what it is to be a man. It's enough already. Your job is to be patient and obedient and submissive. My job is to protect and provide and to lead and to run this household. You want to be trad? That's the program.
We stopped appreciating what men give and are as leaders. We started looking at it like leadership is oppressive because we want to be the leader. I don't. That job is hard. I am more suited for my job. But the programming says that everything he's saying is wrong. The weird thing is, if he was saying this 150 years ago, people would be like, why are you even saying that? We know. Like, why are you, right? But that's how much things have changed. And that's how much we have changed. Men didn't change. They're starting to now because they've been raised in gynocentric households, sort of matriarchal parenting, where it is the woman in charge and things do go the way she wants. So you get very different children, especially male children. So you can get men, I don't know, walking around in pajama pants with a man bun and their nails painted. But I don't know. I make the case that we sort of led the way into all of that. And the state enables us to do so because they basically subsidize us. And even corporations and companies subsidize us. All these soft jobs where you can go and work, it's not real work. It's just not. It's not the type of work that runs society at all. So what he's saying, even though it feels so foreign to our ears, actually makes way more sense than most of what you're going to hear today. It just does. But it's shocking and misogynistic to us now. And we need to change the way we hear things, especially us.
And if the expectations are understood, then everybody can be happy.
Right.
The women can be happy, the men can be happy.
Right.
But if that expectation is not being observed, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Exactly.
That's by what happened to Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder did it right. He did it trad. Got a Christian marriage, conservative Christian marriage. But it didn't work because his wife, she wasn't holding up her end of the bargain.
That's right.
It can't be that way.
That's right. I agree.
Let's talk about what's happening to the men. That's the problem. And women, and by the way, here's what's funny. People are starting to talk about what's happening to men, and then women want to butt into that conversation. Men are helping other men and telling each other about the perils of pornography, for example, and about a promiscuous lifestyle and hedonism. And where someone like Andrew Tate is a perfect example. He's trying to tell young men, you need to be dangerous. You need to work hard. You need to love work. You need to drink 10 cups of coffee a day and work all day. And you need to be dangerous. And you need to be a free thinker. And you can't care what people think about you. And men are helping other men in these times. And women want to butt in and say, yeah. And watching porn is cheating on me. It's about me.
Right.
And you need to be trad. You need to hold the door open for me. Being trad is about how I feel now.
Right.
You need to forgive me for being a whore. You're not trad if you're not forgiving me when I was a whore.
Right.
Me. It's not about men. It's not about God. It's not about moral law. It's about how does this affect me as a woman? And it's got to be shut down at the source. Feminism must be eradicated. Feminism must be eradicated from our society.
Wow. What do you guys think about what he's saying so far? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. I'm so curious to what, more men think of what he says. Men who don't necessarily follow him or maybe have never really heard what he has to say before. Curious what you guys think about this. Because in my mind, I think actually more men would agree with this than not. But I could just be in some kind of echo chamber and have it wrong. So please let me know. And also, if you're enjoying this video, please hit like and hype it up if you can. Thank you.
Mighty. We need to go full on. I'm not going to say it. We're trying to be professional. But it must go completely. And if you're not on board with that, you have no business telling anybody else. You need to get married and be trad and do the trad thing. It's very easy to say the wholesome chungus part and say, hey guys, we all just got to get married and that's what we're all supposed to do. Okay, you want to be a courageous defender of morality? You want to tell everybody what we're supposed to do? Then it's an obligation for men to say, Women, submit to your husbands in everything completely. They're the final word. Your job is to be quiet. Your job is to be patient. Your job is to make the home. You want to play that game? Male and female, he created them. Well, let's start being male and female then. I'm not going to be bossed around in my own home. I'm not going to be told by Hillary Crowder, hey, man, you know what it is to be an alpha male? I'll let you know when I have any interest in what you have to say about an alpha male or marriage for that matter, Hillary Crowder. But that is what is going on. You have Matt Walsh fighting it, and then you have these like women that are instrumentalizing the church right behind them, chirping in their ear. Yeah, and another thing, Andrew Tate is a sexist pig. Don't fall for the. Do not be a simp. Do not be a simp. Do not fall for this crap from them. You cannot fall for this crap from them. Anyway.
He's right. I think he's right on this. And I think we need to be braver to be able to say this if we think this. And women need to be braver. Don't let other women shame you because you want that type of a family. Like, don't hide it from your friends that you listen to your husband and you obey him because you love him and you trust him. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to give to a man, is your full trust and respect. And at the end of the day, as harsh as this might sound to a woman's ears, men, they cherish their women in this scenario. Nobody's chained up in the kitchen. That is not the case. This is a choice. These men don't want women who don't choose this. They don't want to force women at all. It's just not the way of a Christian man. And I'm tired of people lying about that and making it seem like, yeah, that's what they're going to do, because here's how we know that's not what they want to do. They've never done that before. So it's pretty obvious. And now to some more Women's Olympics. Oh.
This is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. No one has ever lasted this long. More than 6 seconds. Unbelievable.
So obviously that was a silence competition. I thought that was pretty apropos. Yeah, that's where it is. And you know what? There's one more thing I wanted to show you. It's Fuentes went on a podcast recently. Do you want to hear? Do you want to see how women really act around him? Do you want to see if they find him so offensive and like, oh my God, you're nasty? Watch this. This is crazy, you guys. So this is how they act around this horrible, mean, completely misogynistic man.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Okay.
Are we?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live.
We're
back.
We've got a great show for you tonight. Mr. Nicholas J. Fuentes, welcome to Red Scare.
Hi, yeah,
Welcome.
good to be here.
Congratulations on
On
your
what?
generational run.
Thank you.
Nick's been having a generational run.
What does that mean?
It means I'm on a generational run. I'm making things happen. I'm blowing up.
Oh yeah,
He's
your star is
unstoppable.
ascendant.
Mhm,
You're
yes.
becoming a household name. Gotcha. Yeah.
When I tried to lock you down for this pod a couple months ago,
Yeah.
yeah, you were already ascendant,
Yep.
and yet you still keep climbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm gonna fully read my questions off of the phone because
gonna do this.
I'm not a Zoomer, and so I don't have the total recall or mental elasticity that you guys have.
Mhm.
So that was the beginning of that podcast. And I don't know, you guys, do you feel that? Like, that was so awkward. He was like, you can tell, he was like, what are you doing? Like, chick in the beige, heavily flirting. He's like, ascendant. When I tried to nail you down for this pod, like, girl, really? And the vocal fry, she probably does vocal fry all the time, but you know, that's kind of like the hanky panky boys. Women, I think it's attractive. Hey, like men are like, ugh. But he seemed like he's like, is this a podcast or what are we gonna do here? I would love to ask him, but that was awkward. But is that the way you would expect women to be around him? No, because it might be the case that we do like what he has to say. We just refuse to admit it. Why would they even talk to him? Why would they be kind to him? Why wouldn't they just sit down and, you know, give him that when feminist women used to talk to Jordan Peterson back in the day? Like, why wasn't it that? Very telling. What do you guys think? Do you think it's telling? Do you think they like it? I know what I think. Anyway, don't forget to like this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I like the Women Olympics, but anyway, don't forget to protect your peace, feed your souls. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.